Hey, Lashpreneurs, happy Monday. I recently had a longtime student of mine, and she messaged me on Instagram. She asked, I want to offer a monthly subscription for my clients, so I get paid on the first of the month. She said, I'm thinking of including two services in their payment with perks on getting things like first dibs on appointments, she said guaranteed, and offering services at a discounted rate. She said, this would help my clients save money and help me manage my time and money and create a secure kind of recurring income. She said, I think this would give me more consistency in my business. What do you think? And I've got something to say about it. Of course I do. Why would I be bringing up on the podcast if I didn't? So that's what we're going to dive in today is memberships or recurring subscription model business models. So for context, I have run a membership for the last 5 years. The Lashpreneur Society is a membership. So it is a recurring payment. Think of it like a gym, like it's a monthly membership. So as long as you want to access the content, the curriculum, the coaching, the community, you continue to pay. And when you no longer want that, then you cancel. So I would say that I'm fairly well versed in the membership or subscription-based business model. For the purposes of this, I'm just going to call it a membership, but you can call it whatever you want. Basically, clients pay a set fee every single month and you give them something. And we'll get into the different ways that this can be done and whether it's a good idea for you in your business or not. So I am not a fan of membership business models for solo lash artists for a variety of reasons, which we'll get into in a sec. But I do think it is a great business model or an option to consider when you are not a solo artist and you have a team member or a staff. So for the context of beauty service-based businesses, a membership is usually a solution for a client loyalty problem. So the problem being clients bounce around from either business to business and they're not really loyal to your brand, or you also have a high turnover of staff that you want clients committed and loyal to the business, not the provider, so that if a lash artist leaves, the client doesn't follow the lash artist or they're not out seeking for the lash artist, they're committed and loyal to the brand, the business, right? So if you look at your franchise locations, the most common way that this model operates is your Amazing Lash Studios, your European Wax Center, your Massage MB. By the way, they're all owned by the same corporate parent company. That's why they have very similar membership business models. So your franchise locations tend to have these types of membership business models to incentivize their customers to be loyal to the business and not necessarily to the service provider, especially if that service provider leaves. And generally speaking, now not always, but the higher the discount is to lock in your membership, it's more of a strategy that honestly is because they want more people to pay for the services, but not actually receive them, then they actually want people to come in and utilize the services. So you look at gyms with like really low monthly memberships, like $20 a month. I don't know if you've ever walked into a gym before, but they have a lot of overhead, especially from a business perspective. They have very large square footage, right? Their equipment is usually leased or rented, or if they bought it new, is very expensive. So there's a lot of startup and overhead just to have a business of a gym. So how do they get away with members paying $20 a month? Well, there's a lot of psychology that goes into that. And the latest statistic that I just looked up is that 67% of gym memberships go unused, which means that if they have 100 members at the gym paying $20 a month, now granted, it's probably in the thousands, right? But if they have 100 members a month, paying the $20 a month, 67 people are paying $20 a month without actually using a product or service that the gym is offering. So that's scalable because they know that percentage, right? So then it's just getting people in on that, knowing that for every 10 people that sign up, only 3 of them are going to actually use the gym on a regular, consistent basis. So they can oversell the amount of memberships they have that they would never actually be able to service and provide an experience for that number of people. Because they know, especially with gyms, people will pay it hoping the motivation kicks in, right? They're kind of preying on this inconsistent motivation. They're trying to get you in on the deal, and the psychology of maybe next month will be the month that I actually go and actually start my health journey. Or they get people in at the beginning of the year who were really motivated, lock them in at a rate knowing that they're going to drop off mid-February, but continue to pay for the rest of the year, or at least 6 or 7 months until they're like, I'm not using it. And they have such a low membership model or price point that people will justify staying on, so that if they get motivated in the future, that they will have access to it, because they wouldn't want to not have access to it for just something like 20 bucks a month, right? All of that is very intentional in the gym membership model. Most memberships are locking you in at a lower rate. You could charge a higher rate, right? You could have premium rates for memberships, and they're definitely, I mean, American Express Black Card is that. It's a very, very, very high price to pay. So people tend to only pay for those things if they're actually going to utilize it. But the level of experience and the utilization of the services that you're paying for tend to be used more because you've got more invested into it, right? So there are two common structures for how memberships typically work. Either the monthly membership is cheaper than the cost of whatever the regular product or service would be, and requires some sort of contract to require a minimum time frame, like 6 months or 1 year, to guarantee the business that consistent income. And there may be other perks associated with it, like discounts on additional services or discounts on products, but really the discount and the incentive is a discount for members on a service that they're probably going to use or may use or want to use, as opposed to a non-member. This is where your Amazing Lash Studio, your Massage Envy, your European Wax Centers, that's their business model. I don't know what the current price point is, but I know when I was a member of Massage Envy, it was like $89 to get, they got you in at like $29 for your first massage, right? Which was a slamming deal. But the whole goal of that first massage is to get you to sign up to be a member, right? Because you've already experienced it. So it's kind of like a coupon to get you into the grocery store. It's not that they're making money off of what you go in to buy, it's that they're hoping you're going to buy other stuff while you're there. And they have a percentage and they have data to know how many people are going to buy and at what price point they're going to buy additional products and services. Same thing with these memberships, is they get somebody in at a very, very low rate. They're not locked in as a member. They're just getting a Groupon or seeing an ad that $29 massage. They come in and they see if you want to schedule another massage. And then they talk about their membership model, right? Where it's normally this massage is $97, but if you sign up today as a member, then you're only paying $59 or $67 or whatever their current monthly payment is. So they are showing you of what it's going to cost you if you don't sign up as a member. And they usually have some sort of perk or incentive for you to sign up at that time, that you get the best deal possible when it's your first visit, because they are going for scarcity and urgency. If you walk out those doors, then you're going to lose some of the perks and benefits or free gifts or whatever if you don't sign up today. And if you're ever going to use a massage again, you might as well get it at the cheaper rate, right? And that's all very convincing. And when you look at the fine print, it really is that you're locked into 6 months to a year of that membership, and you can't cancel it without either some sort of penalty, or you're just legally committed to pay that amount through the end of the contract, right? So that is where it benefits the business to have that consistent recurring income, knowing that some of them have it where if you miss out on your month of your service of that month, then you don't get to make up for it. It's not the best business model because clients get really upset with it. I was a member at another massage place where they're allowing me to utilize the services that I didn't use for as long as I want, or there's no expiration period for the services. So this can work, again, for businesses that have a lot of staff. The second type of membership option is more of a VIP member, where you're paying either like a fee to become a member, like a flat rate fee, or you're paying more than what it would cost you for your regular service, but there's a lot of perks and benefits to it. So that can be like your American Express Black Card can be seen something like that, right? Like once you become a member there, you get access to a whole bunch of other perks. So really you're saving money in other areas, even though you're paying more for this VIP exclusivity kind of membership, if you will. So that can be like exclusive VIP days or priority booking, free services on your birthday, discounts for friends and family, a special gift, some sort of discounts wherever. So you're paying more right off the bat, but that's going to trickle down and give you incentives as a member further down the road. Again, you want to lock, they're usually either a flat rate, 3 to 6 month commitment or a year commitment, or it can be month to month. But in this type of case, I would have some sort of commitment ongoing to try and get them to stay a member, but you have to be able to fulfill on it. So I will say from experience and the experience I've seen of others implementing a membership type structure, that it really doesn't make any financial sense to me for a solo lash artist or a solo beauty business owner to offer memberships, as it's hard to scale, which means that it's hard to duplicate it over and over and over again when we're a one-woman show. So with the idea of having this consistent recurring income sounds enticing. Believe me, I know it's one of the biggest reasons why I went more membership business model as opposed to just launching courses several times a year. But you need to look at the future of your business and not just look at where you're at currently to see if this opportunity still makes sense when your business is at where you want it to be. And this is where I see the problems popping up for solo business owners. Is what happens when you start to get busy. So you're going to struggle at some point to be able to get clients in at their preferred time when you get busier, right? That's the goal, right? If you want to be fully booked, you're fully booked basically with fill appointments. You don't have time to get full sets in, and you get to the point where it's really hard to get clients in. And if they cancel their appointment or they need to reschedule, you have very limited availability. So what happens when you and the client are locked into this membership by a contract that they are paying at the beginning of the month, or typically whenever they sign up is when their recurring payment date is. So what happens when you're locked in and they've prepaid for a service that you cannot deliver on because you're so busy and they can't come in on the times that you're available? What happens then? Do they forfeit their service? Does it get moved to the next month? Well, what about the payment that happens in that month? They haven't received the service or the benefit in the month that it was paid. And now all of a sudden you're 2 months behind on the service because they paid 2 payments and they haven't received a service yet at the beginning of the month. Just something to think about, right? You also want to consider for any sort of discounted rate that your members are receiving by being a member, you're going to get real frustrated that you have to prioritize the discounted members appointments over those that are full price paying clients wanting to get in with you. You're kind of shooting yourself in the foot and discounting unnecessarily because you have people who are willing to pay you more for the same amount of time that you're now contractually obligated to fulfill for a member, right? That's a big problem too. What happens if you want to raise your prices because you're so in demand and there's no more time for you to be able to give, or you're going to have to keep adding hours to the day to accommodate your discounted members? But what happens when you want to be able to raise your prices because you're in so demand and you can't create more income without creating more time, and there just is no more time? So raising your prices is the only way to do that. But you're contractually obligated and locked into the current rate at which your most recent member who signed up for the duration of her contract. So if you signed somebody up last week at the $59 a month, whatever rate for a fill, you have to fulfill that through the end of her contract. And then it gets really hard if you're trying to raise people's contracts as their contracts come up and you're trying to renew their contracts. I will also say from a membership perspective, whoa, that was hard to get out. The biggest struggle that you will have is chasing people's credit cards. You think it's hard enough to chase somebody who's no-shows you? Imagine a recurring payment. Right? And they've signed the contract, they're contractually obligated, but who is going to go chase down their credit card information? Their credit card expired and it didn't go through. It is a whole other aspect of subscription-based business models that is you're losing money every month when people's credit cards expire or there's not enough funds in there. And some of these payment processors will continue to try, but only to a certain point. And then you got to go chase your money because you were relying on that consistent income coming in. You also have to track your churn, which means that the number of members who cancel or who don't continue on, that's a percentage and a metric you're going to need to track to see if it's worthwhile. You're also capping yourself, right? If you can't raise your prices because you're contractually locked in then you can't raise your prices, and you're kind of capping yourself and offering a discount unnecessarily. So believe me, it's not that I don't like memberships. I have one. I love them for specific reasons. But it typically doesn't work for a solo artist. The ways that it does work is when you have a staff that there are many different providers and many different days and times that a client can choose from so that she can get her services fulfilled that she is paying for every single month. And then you have a scalable business model, because instead of raising your prices, you just increase your staff and increase your number of clients. You're not capped by time, right? Because you can always hire more team members or expand locations. You can always get more time by getting more people in if you have enough demand to fulfill on that. So you don't really necessarily have to raise your prices to scale your business model when you have a staff and you're offering subscriptions or membership-based business models. So you have a lot more scalability with a staff and a team utilizing something like a membership business model. So if you don't have a loyalty issue, then don't create a solution for a problem you don't have. And if you do have a loyalty issue, there are a lot of different ways that you could go about solving that problem without you crippling your ability to grow your business and to earn more income over time. Not having enough clients is a short-term problem in your business, hopefully. If not, we got some opportunity there to have you learn marketing where you can scale your business and grow your business and grow your clientele. So don't create short-term solutions that ultimately create big long-term problems. So what are some solutions if you want more consistent and predictable income in your business? Well, my friends, that's all the time we have today, because that is what we teach you inside the Lashpreneur Society, my business coaching program, my membership for beauty business service providers. And we don't lock you into a long-term contract. It is a month-to-month membership. So if you want to learn how to grow your business, if you want to take time to focus on the revenue generating activities and the ways to build a clientele so that you can have that consistent and predictable income, we can teach you how to do that inside of the Lashpreneur Society. And if you have a membership business model or you're wanting to bring on staff, we can help you set up the structure and foundation of your business to allow for that growth in the future. So by not having you locked into a contract, guess who has all the risk? Me and my team. Because we have to provide value for you. We have to help you get results in order for you to continue to stay a member, right? And so it is on our best interest to make sure that you're getting results and the support and the coaching and the knowledge to grow your business so that you want to continue to stay and you want to continue to grow and evolve and continue to stay a member of this amazing community. So again, we're taking on the risk so that it's a no-brainer for you. So if you want to, and remember, you can cancel anytime. So if you want to get on the wait list to be notified of when we open the doors for enrollment again for the Lashpreneur Society, which is, by the way, happening very soon, go to lashpreneur.com/society and sign up for our wait list to be notified when we do open the doors for enrollment. Keep your eye on your email if you are already on the wait list, because we are opening the doors very soon, very, very, very soon. Can I say it again? We're opening the doors to the Lashpreneur Society very, very, very soon. So make sure you get on the wait list at thelashpreneur.com/society. I hope this brought you some clarity on whether a membership or subscription-based business model is right for you or not. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Have a good one, guys.